Are Christians rational people? I'm certain that most of them would consider themselves to be. I would, however, suggest that rationality takes a back seat whenever they consider any faith-related question. All of those who claim to dedicate themselves to Jesus Christ base their dedication on nothing more tangible than a book. Everything that they need to know is written in that book. It must be. Otherwise they would have to rely on fallible people, or their own fallible senses. They must therefore accept the Bible as the divinely inspired word of God, every single word of it, because the moment they question the divine authorship of a single word, they must, as rational human beings, question each and every other word. This is the one single area where the crazy creationist crew have it correct. There must have been dinosaurs on the ark. A man must have lived in a fish for 3 days, because if any of those things are simply made up myths of Middle Eastern men, then the entire Bible, Old and New Testament, must be subject to skepticism. The gospel words attributed to Jesus refer back to the Old Testament repeatedly. I am left to wonder how many of these Christians have read the Bible. I mean, really read it. Or have you simply relied on some other fallible human being to tell you what it says? Or perhaps on the transliteration carried out by some fallible individual centuries ago? Is it intellectually honest to defend something which you have made no real effort to understand? If it turns out that the Bible you know is not the Bible as it was written, is it not of the utmost importance for you to know that? Or I'll let Ken Ham explain the problem.
That's what we would call historical science. It's beliefs about the past when you weren't there.
You weren't even there, man.
And see, the Bible is a book of historical science. And see, the Bible is a...
You weren't even there, man.
Right. Well, I hope you get the idea here. These translations or transliterations differ because the Unearthed was written in a dead language. There are no native speakers for us to talk to, and the original text is written in a language in which a single symbol can represent multiple different words or meanings. Translators therefore have to make choices when translating. They have to interpret. Conventions do exist, but each translator must make a subjective evaluation of individual symbols. Of course, this matters little to the lay person like me. I simply find it interesting that the Unearthed contains a creation myth, which hint at later stories written into the Bible. The absolute specifics of the translation of each individual symbol of these ancient texts is only of real interest to experts in the field, whom of course want to be as accurate as possible in all translations. And of course this means that older translations need to be reconsidered in view of new learning. But the Bible is very different, because the foundations of Christianity depend on a particular rendition of Genesis, as represented by the King James Version. Every word has been analysed and eulogized, each one woven into the Christian apologies of the past 2,000 years. However, the past few decades have seen a revolution in textual criticism, linguistics, and the study of ancient texts in general. So it's no longer enough to say our forebears got it right 400 years ago. It is becoming clear that the Genesis of the Bible is not the Genesis as it was first spoken of and copied down. And so it's dishonest to perpetuate the false transmission of the meaning of the texts. Would you expect an honest church to embrace new knowledge of their sacred writings, to explore what they might mean, honestly and openly? Or is the message which your preacher has been sold more important than the message as it was originally told? Well, that's it. We've nearly finished the first 2 lines of the Bible already. It can take a while when you read it properly, or try your best to. Now I've toiled over this, trying to figure the best way to present it. Let me know what you think of this approach, and whether you'd like me to continue in this vein. The next video will probably concern chaos, and that wonderful quote, "Let there be light." Thanks for watching.